Hey, what's up guys? This is the Reolink TrackMix Wi-Fi. It is a 4K pan and tilt security camera that has dual lenses. So one is a wide angle lens and then the other one is a zoom lens, a telephoto lens, so you can see what's going on. So I'm gonna unbox this thing, install it, and check out the video quality on this both during the day and at night. So stick around to the end to check out the results. So be prepared, be Reolink. Let's see, this is just some instruction manual, quick start guide. So this is one cool thing that I like about this is that they give you the wall guide, so you could attach this to the ceiling or the wall, and then these are just basically a sticker you put on the wall, you drill the holes and you're good to go. And you also get this sticker, and this is probably another instruction, waterproof lid installation guide. Okay, so this is actually the Wi-Fi version. There's a PoE, power over Ethernet version, if you guys are interested in that. I prefer the Wi-Fi version myself. So this is most likely for the Ethernet cable, if there was one in this case, so it can keep it enclosed, so it would still be waterproof. Alright, so this camera is a decently large. Okay, so there's an Ethernet cable. This is, okay, yeah. So power, Ethernet right here. So that's what this is for, most likely, yeah. So if you were to plug in the Ethernet, you can put this stuff in so it stays waterproof. And looks like the audio. You get the 355 degrees of pan and 90 degrees of tilt, and you got some LEDs in the front, and this is where the micro SD goes. So this is a pretty beefy camera. It's decently heavy as well. And they also included, so I guess this looks like an extension of the power cord, which is, let's just make sure. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. If it doesn't reach, you could extend it. And you get an Ethernet cable, which is either Cat5e or Cat6 to support at least gigabit speeds, I would assume. It doesn't say on the cord itself. And let's check out the power cord, which is 100 to 240 volts. And this one looks decently long as well. So this part's going to be optional, I would imagine. And the screws and anchors to pop it in the wall, and that's, I would assume that's it. Now I'm going to talk about the Reolink app. I'm going to go over several of its options because it has a decent number of options. I won't go into every single one, otherwise we're going to be here for like an hour. But I will go over the main ones and the useful ones. Okay, so starting off, you can look at this camera from both lenses, the telephoto and the wide angle, or you could just look at the wide angle one. If you click that button, it will just show you one. And the reason why it says top left, it says driveway, is because that's what I call the camera. So if you want to call the camera something else, it will show up there on the top left. But I like looking at it from the two views, so I'm just going to talk about it from this angle. So then you have a few buttons on the top. One is the alarm, the other one is the flashlight, which turns on the light. Now, I don't need that, and it just, when it detects motion at night, it automatically does that because I have it set in the settings. So these are options I basically never touch at the top, other than the settings one,
which is really the only one I go to just to check a few things, and I'm not even there often. And then on the top, we also have a day-night mode, and I have it set to auto. And by that, you could have it on black and white, so basically the infrared's on, or you can actually have the light on and you can see color night vision. So there's that. Okay, so you could click on pause, which pauses the video, and then clicking play turns it back on. You could click the microphone button, which you'll hear what's going on the outside. You can click the screenshot, so you get a screenshot, saves directly to your phone as well. Then you can click on the record button, which this one also saves directly to the phone. And then you can also pause that, and again, saves directly to the phone. And the last one is basically, it's like the tilted view, which would be the same exact thing as if I tilted my phone, it would give me this view. So not something I'm interested in, I just like this and it's fine. Okay, so those are the top options. You could click the talk button. If I click the tap to talk, whatever I say will go on the outside speaker. So you could, in theory, have a conversation with someone. Don't expect amazing quality out of it, but you can do that. It does have that option. Okay, so here's really the main thing, the PTZ, pan, tilt, zoom. So you could zoom in with the telephoto if you want to, and you could zoom out all the way to the pretty much the wide angle. But this is, I just kind of keep it right around here where the default is. And then we have a speed. Now the speed is how fast it pans and tilts. So 32 is fairly fast, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. And in fact, I'll record it so you guys could see the 360 degrees that it shows. So basically, that was the speed. Now let's speed it up just to save, in an effort to save time. So this is how fast it moves. So you can see it's moving way faster, and it's giving us that 360 degrees. Bring it back to the middle. And there is somewhat of a delay when you're moving it. Sometimes it takes like a second or two, then it starts moving and stuff. So that's, I have noticed that. So bring it down and then bring it back up. Also inside pan and tilt, you have several other options. So you can return to a monitor point. So if I click that, it goes to the driveway, which is the default that I set it to. So why is this important? Well, you can turn on human tracking, you can turn on car tracking, you can also turn on pet tracking. So basically, it could track stuff or people or cars or whatever. So when it does that, it moves the camera if you have that option enabled, which I do. So you kind of want it to return to its default position. Otherwise, if someone's walking, you know, one side and then it kind of tilts, and it just kind of always stays there, then you're gonna kind of miss where you really want it to show. So it defaults to its default location, which is return to monitor point. You can reset the point, you can say auto return, and you can say how often you want it to return, how soon to return to the monitor point. And then here are the preset points. So this one is very useful. So I have a few set. So if I have left side set, I have right side set, I have driveway set, and I was playing with one that said right test, but I'm gonna delete that one. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. So let's say you tilt it and you like this angle for whatever reason. Well, once you get it to this angle, when you click on the preset point, you can actually add this and just say whatever, right, and just call it whatever you want. And then that would be the mode that you would. So if you were on driveway and you quickly wanted to go to the right, you could just tap right and it would take you where you set it. So this is basically to save you time from panning and tilting. So essentially you pan and tilt a few times at the beginning, you set your preset points, you click it, and then boom, it just shows you. So it's very convenient. Instead of, you know, actually clicking pan and tilt, it'll take you to the exact spot you saved, which is something that I like. So it's a very good feature. And then this is basically calibration. Okay, and playback is for you to look at videos. So if it detected motion and stuff, it's gonna show you. So if I click on one, and then it also shows you on the app as well. So this is actually kind of a nighttime video that you guys could see the quality. And this is actually playing from the micro SD card and streaming it back to my phone. So if you look at the apps, this one, it detected humans and cars. So if I click on that one, based on the icon, you can actually tell if, so what I'm trying to say is it's easy to find someone because you could kind of filter them out. So I mean, we could wait a bit, but let me see if I could fast forward if it'll load quickly. So once I start playing with this and I'm like fast forwarding, sometimes it's, yeah, so you could see that someone was walking and it was actually tracking them, and that's why we have that. And then it went back to my default point. Okay, so that's basically the playback in a nutshell. Okay, and then we have, yeah, let's actually just go to settings and we'll talk about this. So network is my Wi-Fi that it's connected to. Display, you get a bunch of options. So you can do a flip vertical, you can do a flip horizontal. So depending on how you mount the camera, you can have it show a certain way, which is good. Quality is you get two choices. You could do a clear quality and a fluent quality. So the clear one is my 4K quality at the highest settings. Fluent is basically much lower settings. And anti-flicker, you know, 60 hertz day and night is auto. Brightness is, you know, if you want to make it super bright, which is going to be like overexposed, which is not what I want. Camera name is just where you want it to be on the screen, if you want it to be on the top left or somewhere else. So or you could just basically hide it. But I just have it on the bottom right. You can have the date, you can move that around. You could put a watermark, which will show up Reolink on the top left. You can do a privacy mask. Now, privacy mask, what it does is you could basically say, I want this part to be hidden. So I click save, and then that part's always hidden. The problem with doing this in a pan and tilt camera is when you move it, well, that's going to move with it. So it's nice that it's there, but for a pan and tilt, I see it as being less useful. But you could do it for a wide angle, and you can also do it for your telephoto as well. So it's nice that it's there, but it's not something I plan on using, especially for a pan and tilt. So this is just like advanced features, brightness, and just things like everything's just kind of set on auto. Device volume, just, you know, basic stuff, how loud you want the speaker to be and stuff. Detection alarm. So this is kind of where you want things to be triggered. So you can basically say, oh, I don't want anything in this area to be triggered. So if something happens in this area, don't trigger the camera, don't record. Or you could say erase all and say, whatever happens in my view of the camera, I want you to detect and record. Now, why is this even an option here? Well, the reason why it's an option is, you know, besides you probably don't want something to get triggered. Maybe you have a dog or a cat or whatever, and your camera's looking outside, but a part of it is showing your dog, and maybe you don't want that to be triggered. So you're like, oh, just this little corner where my dog could come kind of to this edge, I don't want that to trigger the camera and record. So you could basically do that in that case. So I have that on the erase all, but one really important useful feature for this is if this was a solar camera and your battery was running out because it wasn't charging fast enough, because it was just detecting too much motion, well, you could kind of reduce that. But I basically, because it's powered on, you know, it's just plugged in, I just say, okay, anything you see, just record. Sensitivity is basically how sensitive you want it to be. I just have everything on high, like, yeah, if you see anything recorded. Alarm delay, I don't use the alarm. And object size, how big things are for you to detect them. And auto tracking. So this is the one, auto tracking, and I say person. You can have it set to person, vehicle, or pet, or all three. So you could say, you know, I want it to track both of these. And what it will do is it will actually turn and pan and tilt and track them. You can also completely disable it. You can also say just digitally track, which means don't move the camera, but just kind of focus on them. So you can do that as well. But I just basically say pan and tilt because it does return to its monitor point. And then camera recording is just, you know, basic stuff. Oh, here's something else. You can actually, so this one is recording based on motion, but you can also set a timer and you could say, regardless if there's motion or not, I want you to record from, you know, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, for example. So you can set things like that as well, where it just records whether it detects motion or not. The problem with doing that is it's going to reduce your micro SD's life, because if it's continuously writing to it, it does reduce its life. So, but if that is important to you, you can do that. And I think Reolink also has a cloud option, which I'm not using, but you can do that. And the rest of it is just basically push notifications, emails, uploads, if you want to put the alarm, the siren on and stuff, and if you want to share the camera. You can also do a time lapse, which is kind of cool, where it basically takes continuous images, and if things are happening or clouds are moving and stuff like this, it kind of captures that. It looks cool. I don't use that. And then basically the advanced option where I wanted to record audio and stuff or just restore. And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you want to format the memory card, the SD card in there, micro SD card I should say, you click on the driveway itself, and then you would basically just click on storage, and then you could click format there. But I do have it on overwrite, so it will overwrite itself either way. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. What do I think of this camera? Well, considering the price, I think it's a very good camera. But again, considering the price, is it a perfect camera? No. Is the quality amazing? No. My 4K mirrorless camera that I'm recording on right now is much higher quality than the 4K that's coming out of that, that security camera that I'm reviewing. So I can't really compare the two because this one costs way more than that. So it's really kind of a different beast if you think about it. And the app itself works fine most of the time. Sometimes there is lag and there's an occasional bug here and there. But overall, considering the price, if you're not expecting bank level security, you should be good to go. So overall, it's a pretty good camera. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Smash that subscribe button. I am trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Thank you guys all for the support. It is free to subscribe, by the way, just as a heads up. So shiny red button, subscribe. Good to go. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.